Hello, and welcome to Thirsty Thursdays with a Therapist, where we quench the thirst in your relationships. Today, I'm really glad that you're joining me, Jaleisha Gatling, licensed marriage family therapist here in New York City, because I work with people helping them to unpack the baggage that gets in between their relationships. Now, we've been talking about intimacy the past couple of episodes, and today I want to talk about financial intimacy. Ever heard of it? Think I'm making it up? I am not. Google it. Financial intimacy essentially is having shared financial goals within your relationship. But it's not quite that simple because you can very well have the same goals financially, but maybe struggle to figure out how to get there or what is blocking the two of you from achieving those goals. And so I think what's really more important within financial intimacy is that for that to be fostered and to be healthy, there needs to be commitment to finding a balance between your differing attitudes around money. So we all have a different individual relationship with money. We all have financial experiences, whether it had been a conversation or something that we witnessed, or maybe something that we went through in our childhood that contribute to how we relate to money. And so it's very unlikely that you and your partner are going to come in with the same sort of relationship with money. I mean, you might very well both be savers or both be spenders, but be very different types of spenders. So it's usually not as simple as, oh, I'm a big saver and my partner likes to spend, spend, spend. You have to go a bit deeper and try to uncover, well, what kind of spender are you? What's the why behind this? And is that healthy? Do we need to do some reprogramming to make this more healthier and to serve you and your relationship better? For instance, with spending, there could be a frugal spender, which might not even seem like that is possible. But a frugal spender is someone who spends as little as possible. That's usually tied to something from our childhood in terms of why we're wired that way. You have people who are guilt trip spenders who spend to make up for mistakes or for letting their partner down, and they might spend more than they actually have or than that they can afford to try and make up for wrongdoings. So they spend under the guise of guilt. Some people spend as a reward, and that's where spending comes into play. Some people spend when they're really down and out, and it's a coping mechanism, temporary, but it's coping, right? And so it's really important to find patterns that align with spending habits that are contributing to problems in the relationship or with the finances. So it's really good to just understand your money personality. I mean, there's a ton of resources and books out there that lay out money mindset and how we come to relate to money in the way that we do. And I think regardless, even if you on the surface you don't see or feel like you're having financial issues or stress in your relationship, it's really good to know. Like, it's really good to unpack that a bit, and it's something that I really push couples to go deep in, especially with premarital counseling, even if they are not having any issues presently around that area. It's really good to know what the strengths are within their intimate relationship around finances. Are they able to talk about XYZ very easily, but are these other things kind of something that maybe only one person handles or talks about? What are you uncomfortable talking about? What do you feel like are your growth areas when it comes to money? All of that is really important before you can sit down and come up with a unified plan to meeting your goals, and talking about budgeting, spending, saving, and what all of that looks like and how you can get to that. It's really important to understand your relationship with money on a deeper level to make those meetings or those plans really come to life. So that's something that I think is really, really important. And it's something that oftentimes, as you probably know and have heard, money is like the number one thing that tends to break couples up. And that's not necessarily due to a lack of it, okay? Your relationship with money is so important to know and understand and have some insight about, and your partners as well. Don't wait for issues to come up. But if you find that you are avoiding something that has to do with finances, or that maybe you're putting something off for your partner to simply take care of because you just don't want to deal with it, that's something to look into. And I'm not saying that you need to know how to do or that you need to take on and do everything 50-50 when it comes to the finances and managing of that. I'm not saying that at all, but I think it is important that both partners are in the know of what goes behind putting those plans in place. It's important that you're not solely dependent on one partner to manage the money because they're really good at it, you know? And so maybe those sit downs or those meetings that you have, maybe you commit to having a check in once a month or once every quarter to kind of sit down and check in on your finances and goals. And maybe you pull out your bank statements and see if there are any things that you could curb or cut that are not feeding your life, that aren't necessary, that could be helpful to your financial goals. You know, it might be like that, what's that woman's name? Marie or something? Does this spark joy? Does that transaction spark joy? Did that did that purchase spark joy? I just thought of that literally like in the moment. That wasn't pre-thought of. So you're welcome. But yeah, I could talk on and on and on about this, but I'll stop there. And I want you to think about what sort of money personality are you. And I'll put a little thing at the bottom here, kind of maybe noting some of the different types or a resource that you might check out to better uncover where you land with this. And I mean, whether you're in a relationship or not, I think it's super helpful and it's really, really insightful to learn about. So I will leave you with that. Again, I want to remind you that I am, for a very limited time, offering free 15-minute video consultations with anyone who wants a relationship tune-up or who is wondering if we might be able to work together and you might be able to gain some skills and some tools to increase the intimacy and connection in your relationship. I'd love to chat with you. I really wanted to offer a little experience for people who were hesitant about video sessions. If we were to decide to work together, you could kind of already have a little taste of what that might look like if our schedules don't align for us to meet in person, or if you live too far away from where my office is located. So wanted to put that out there. If you are interested in that, you can book a video session with me in the link below. And I will talk to you guys next time on Thirsty Thursdays. We're going to continue talking about intimacy and other realms that maybe you haven't thought of. See you then.